What's going on with condominiums right now? There are several issues putting more pressure on the condo market. And if you own, buy, or sell a condominium, these are things you need to be aware of. First, HOA dues are getting more expensive and becoming a larger part of the overall cost of homeownership. And unlike mortgage interest or certain property taxes, HOA dues generally aren't deductible for a personal residence. Of course, always check with your CPA regarding your individual situation. Second, insurance costs continue to rise. This is especially challenging for condominium communities located in areas with wildfire, hurricane, tornado, or other higher risk exposure. As insurance gets more expensive, those costs eventually impact homeowners. Then we have HOA reserves. Many condominium associations simply do not have enough money set aside for future repairs and major expenses. And adequate reserves are becoming increasingly important because they can directly affect whether buyers are able to obtain conventional financing. There's also HOA litigation. When a condominium association is involved in certain types of litigation, conventional financing can become much more difficult to obtain. Buyers may need alternative financing, larger down payments, or different loan programs. That means fewer qualified buyers and potentially more pressure on property values. Another major issue is special assessments. When an HOA doesn't have enough money in reserves to pay for major repairs, things like balconies, roofs, exterior maintenance, structural work, or painting, homeowners can be charged a special assessment to make up the difference. And now there are additional financing changes adding even more pressure. Beginning August 3rd, 2026, changes to condominium project reviews mean lenders may need to take a closer look at an association's finances, reserves, insurance coverage, funding, and overall building condition. That can make it harder for certain condominium communities to qualify for conventional financing through Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And there's another important change coming. Beginning in January of 2027, reserve funding requirements are becoming more stringent. Associations that don't meet the required reserve standards may have to increase HOA dues, impose special assessments, or risk making units within the complex more difficult to finance conventionally. And that matters because when financing becomes harder to obtain, the buyer pool gets smaller. A smaller buyer pool can put additional pressure on condominium pricing. Now, does that mean condominium prices are going to crash? No. There are still millions of buyers purchasing homes every year, and housing inventory remains relatively limited in many markets. But I do believe condominiums could experience more pricing pressure than detached homes, particularly in communities dealing with high HOA dues, inadequate reserves, expensive insurance, litigation, special assessments, or financing restrictions. So whether you're buying or selling a condominium, you need to look beyond just the unit itself. You need to understand the financial health of the HOA. And one last point, don't rely exclusively on Zillow and automated valuation or AI to tell you what your property is worth. Those tools can be a starting point, but they can't see the condition of your home, its upgrades, its location within the community, the HOA's financial condition, or many of the other factors that influence actual market value. If you or someone you know needs to sell a home as is, or has a property that may need repairs or renovations to achieve top dollar, give me a call. I'll help you evaluate the options and determine which approach makes the most sense. Erik Kaiser, Protect the Estate. 855-423-5100. Protect the estate, protect the equity, protect your options.